Hello, today we're going to learn some calculations to see if your department can run a course using the full cost recovery model, also known as FCR. Eligible full cost recovery courses allow departments to recover the cost of the instructor's salary and eligible expenses. Courses that follow this funding model may not be able to take place unless they can recover the salary. All FCR information can be found in the guidelines on the Provost website. For the purpose of this lesson, I will show you how to calculate an online graduate course to see if this funding model will work. Other types of eligible FCR courses will be calculated similarly. This lesson requires familiarity with Excel spreadsheets and its basic calculations, along with the cost and figures associated with the potential FCR course. Let's begin. First, we're going to open up an Excel spreadsheet, as I have done here, and we're going to save it as the name of the course. And for this purpose, I'm just going to save it to my desktop, and I'm going to call this Tech 590 Section 091. I'm going to save it, and we're also going to go to cell 1A, and we're going to name this spreadsheet here as well. Section 590, or Tech 590, Section 091. Actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to bold that to kind of set that off from the rest of my calculations. Now let's enter our row titles. Go to row 3 and enter the title Credit Hours of Course. Go down to row 4 and enter Estimated Grad Enrollment, and then Grad Tuition per credit hour. And on row 6, projected tuition. Now I'm going to make my column a little bit wider to fit my titles. Then I'm going to draw a box around my titles and over one column. Oops. Now we're going to go to graduate tuition per credit hour. This is a given. All graduate tuition currently is $403.59. So that's a given. Then we're going to go down to our projected tuition, and we're going to enter in our formula. And our formula is going to be the equal sign, parentheses, credit hours times estimated grad enrollment, and I put that in parentheses so that it'll figure first, times our graduate tuition per credit hour, and that will calculate as such. Now let's go to row 8 and let's enter in the title of our direct, everything that's our direct expenses. So on row 8, we're going to enter instructor salary. On row 9, we're going to enter miscellaneous expenses. On row 10, we're going to enter processing fee. And row 11, we're going to enter total direct expenses. Now we're going to highlight those titles and one column over. Let's draw a box around that so we can separate our expenses from our tuition information. The processing fee for each full cost recovery course is $675, and that's a given, and that stays the same. So we're going to go ahead and enter that in. Then we're going to enter a formula to calculate our total direct expenses. We're going to enter the equal sign and sum of B8, 9, and 10. And that will calculate for us automatically when we enter our information. One last box we're actually going to make, one last set of calculations, is we're going to calculate the projected tuition less the direct expenses. So we can see whether we're coming out with a residual or with a shortfall. So in row 13, we're going to title it Projected Tuition Less Direct Expenses. I'm going to go back up to column A. Make my columns a little bit wider so I can fit all my words in. Then I'm going to go ahead and highlight A13 and B13 and draw another box around that. So now we have 3 boxes, one signifying our tuition information, one in signifying our expenses, and the final, which we will put a formula in B13. Now we're going to go to B13 and we're going to put in our final formula, which is going to equal projected tuition B6 minus total direct expenses B11. We're going to put that in parentheses. And right now we're at negative 675. Now we're going to go ahead and plug in some numbers, and we're going to see if we will be able to run this Tech 590091 with a residual. So first off, I am told we have 3 credit hours for this course, and we have 12 students that are interested in enrolling. Now here we have our graduate tuition per credit hour. I'm going to make my column a little bit wider. So if we take 3 credit hours times 12 students times $403.59, we get $14,529.24 for our tuition. Now let's subtract our expenses. We're going to pay our instructor $5,000 for teaching the course, and the instructor has $120 in miscellaneous expenses. This could be gas, travel, lodging, just depends on the course. We already know the processing fee is $675. So if we add the $5,000, the $120, and the $675, our total direct expenses is $595. Now what we want to know is if we subtract the direct expenses from the tuition, what our final number is, and it's $8,734.24. We are in the black, not in the red, so this course will render a residual. Let's go ahead and practice another one. Let's enter the credit hours for this course. I'm told are 2 hours, and we're going to have only 8 students taking this course. Again, I'll make my column a little bit wider so I can read all the numbers. So 2 hours times 8 students times $403.59 brings in a total of $6,457.44 in tuition. So let's figure our expenses. I'm told that our instructors are going to be paid, or the instructor is going to be paid $6,200. The instructor has $60 in miscellaneous expenses. We already know our processing fee of $675. If we add all three of those together, our total expenses for this particular projected course is $6,935. That's awfully close to the tuition that we're bringing in. And when we do the calculations, we see that we're actually in the negative $477.56. So as it stands, unless they would get a higher enrollment or maybe a different instructor, or maybe no miscellaneous expenses, or a combination of those, as it stands, the course would not be approved to run with this shortfall. In the case of our first example, where we ended with an $8,734.24 residual, if you and your department is good to go with this course, then you can save it as a PDF and print out this copy and submit it with your course application. Now that you have an understanding of how we calculate projected tuition and our direct expenses, and then how we can learn whether it will bring in a residual or a shortfall and get a good guide of whether it's going to be approved or not, now you're ready to turn to Moodle and take your practice and assessment. Thank you.